Welcome back to Thunderbolt Lanes, Allen Park, Michigan, just outside of Detroit. The PBA League is in session. Silver Lake Atom Splitters and Dallas Strikers. Silver Lake with a 2-1 advantage. Time now for the Geico Championship recap with Randy.
Thank you, my friend. It was Chris Barnes taking on Norm Duke / Rhino Page. Rhino Page came into the match halfway through, but this singles competition was all about Chris Barnes. Strike after strike after strike, he threw the front 9 until that big disastrous split in the 10th. But that match was over. 265 to 208. Then in the doubles, Chris Barnes once again. Huge mistake, whipping the 4-pin in the 6th frame. Brian Smith now gets up in the 10th. He needs a strike to win. 9 to tie, 8 to lose. Then in the trio competition, the Silver Lake Atom Splitters brought in the big guns. Dom Barrett, Wes Malott, and Tommy Jones. They would string strikes in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th frame, grab the lead, and never relinquish it. This match now 2-1 in favor of the Silver Lake Atom Splitters.
It's the 5-point Team Baker game. Here's the lineup for the Dallas Strikers. Leading off in bowling 1st and 6th. It's Hall of Famer Norm Duke, followed by Machuga, Amloto Monticelli. Bowling the 4th and 9th and 10th. Norm covers the 10-pin.
These teams will switch lanes after the 5th frame. Brian Smith to start things off for the Atom Splitters on the left lane. He'll bowl the 1st and 6th frame. Great shot.
Here we go. Good shot, guys. Come on. That was better.
Here's the lineup for the Silver Lake Atom Splitters. All 5 players. Brian Smith will lead off. Chris Barnes, Dom Barrett, Wes Malott, and Tommy Jones on the back end.
Pretty strong on paper there. That's not the team that you want to wake up to in the morning and have to face, you know, in any kind of competition.
That's high. And the 3, the 4, the 6, the 7, and the 10 split for Machuga.
Well, it's early, so right now Mike Machuga, if he's able to convert this split, all will be forgiven as he cuts right through the nose, leaving the 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. The key, though, is to avoid the open frame, and lost 5 pins in count, 15 and 9 out would give him 24 in the 2nd. Not the way you want to start. This is very makeable. Oh.
5 and out.
And he banked that off his ankle. That's what sent it in the right channel.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that does not feel good. You throw a 15 or 16-pound ball into that ankle bone, very painful. Bad shot, good break for Chris Barnes on the left lane, and he's disgusted because he threw it bad. He could have really taken advantage of that open frame in the 2nd by throwing a strike and giving his teammates a chance to build on that. That was just a pull. Massive pull left inside a target.
Found that spot. No, well, it's still you, but.
Monticelli up. Randy, what is the science and the strategy behind putting together a 5-player team Baker lineup?
Well, I think that the leadoff bowler is someone that can get you going out of the gate and pump the team up. It's kind of the team cheerleader. Your anchor bowler is going to be the player that you have the most confident in throwing a strike when you need it in the 10th frame.
Monticelli up for Dallas. Skates wide and just a 2-pin.
Mike Machuga has too much reaction down lane. Monticelli can't get his ball to turn over down lane. You got Rhino Page sitting next to Machuga with the bad wrist. Machuga now with the bad ankle. All I can think of is one word. Medic.
Come on. Come on.
Dom Barrett up for the Silver Lake Atom Splitters. Finalists at the PBA Tournament of Champions this year. And winner of the PBA World Championship. Toes the line in third. And that's a high flush hit. 10 back for Dom.
Johnny Rollmaster has no problem getting his ball to roll up and hit the 1-3 in the face.
Kimberly Pressler is laneside and has this update on Mike Machuga. Kimberly.
Mike, why don't you tell us what actually happened with your ankle and how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty embarrassed. I just tried to get inside of it a little bit to try to get it around that 3-pin and make the spare, and my ankle got in the way, and it's getting it's going to swell up and get sore, but I'll be all right.
Are you going to be able to continue?
Oh yeah.
Good luck to you.
We were bowling in a tournament in St. Louis many years ago. There was a player on the tour by the name of David White from Oklahoma City. He threw it into his ankle so hard he knocked his left leg out from underneath him. The ball went in the gutter. He fell in the gutter.
Watka up for Dallas, 4th frame. And Watka finds the pocket. Ken openers the rack.
Come on, guys, let's go now.
Trying to get something going for Dallas.
Nice looking shot there by Dave Watka. He rolled it nicely, and that ball read the spot and hooked up into the pocket. Watch this. He's going to keep his hand underneath. Roll this pretty good. Just left a 4th arrow. You can see that ball actually made a track or a tracer right through the blue oil. That was pretty cool.
Malott light, double wood, 2 in the 8.
Malott light? Boy, those are two words you rarely hear together. I mean, this guy's bowling ball always hooks and hits the pocket. Malott light. Boy, I'm not sure I've said that a lot in the last 6 months.
Interesting to note that in team competition, first 5 frames are bowled on 1 lane. Teams will switch sides after 5 frames. And Malott picks up the 2 in the sleeper 8.
I don't know if I've ever seen a guy bowl as well as Wes Malott with a bad knee. You know, he downplays it and he says, well, it's not that bad. You know, it's sore, it swells up. Let me tell you something. He has barely any knee bend, and that's directly related to a sore left knee.
Very important shot here, and Rhino Page knows it, and he's taking a little extra time.
Well, they're down by 28, and we're only through 4 frames. In that 2nd frame, they lost a boatload of pins. Machuga only got 5 with 2 balls.
Have one more left.
4-6-10 split.
Really?
Come on out.
Disaster. What a time for this to happen. He could have cut the lead to 10. Instead, it's the 4-6-10 staring Rhino Page in the face.
Open frame for Dallas, and the hole got a little deeper. The winner here advances to the semifinal of the PBA League and will face the winner of the Philadelphia Hitmen and the Pittsburgh Jackrabbits yet to come. Tommy Jones now up in the 5th anchor player on this team lineup. He bowls the 5th and 10th. Splitters up 34, 5th frame. Powerful strike.
Done.
So halfway through this all-important 5-on-5 team match, the Atom Splitters are up by 34. But the teams will swap lanes for the last 5 frames. Will the left lane help the Strikers climb back into this match? We'll find out when we come back to Thunderbolt Lanes.
PBA League rolls on at Thunderbolt Lanes in Ellen Park, Michigan. And it's the final 5 frames of our 3-point team game. The winner advancing to the PBA League semifinals. 5 frames to play. Silver Lake with the advantage. And Brian Smith has his last crack at helping his team here in the 6th frame. Splitters up 34. Chance to increase. Smith in the pocket. Gets rid of the 7, but not the 10.
And that's okay because Brian Smith will now go back with some recon to his teammates and let them know the move and the adjustment he made from the left lane to the right lane.
Ten-pin conversion.
Vector 2, baby. Yes.
Next up, Strikers player manager Norm Duke, who is the subject of our Columbia 300 fun fact. Duke, the youngest player to ever win a PBA title. The oldest was John Handegard, who was 57 when he took the 1995 Northwest Classic. 6th frame. Norm's win came in the 1983 Cleveland Open, where he climbed from the bottom of the stepladder to collect the title. And one of those he knocked off? None other than the greatest of all time, Earl Anthony. 31 years later, Norm has 37 PBA titles. Only Anthony and Walter Ray Williams Jr. have one more.
Norm Duke. I liked it. Will shoot a spare. And that is not what Dallas needs at this point.
Guys.
Running out of frames. And Norm Duke looked back at his team, Randy, and said about the same.
Well, his team needs to get on the strike wagon. And they're down 34 pins. 4 frames to go. Max score 206 for the Dallas Strikers. Not good. Silver Lake is clean, bowling a Dutch 200 game. That's a strike spare every other frame. They're clean through 6 frames.
Chris Barnes up, gets a 10 to fall.
And that time the messenger found the correct address as Chris Barnes shreds the rack. Watch this pin action here. You don't think Brian Smith went back and said, okay, well, I moved this many boards and you know what to do, take over. Oh, yeah. To have any chance now, Dallas Strikers, they have to strike out. I mean, their nickname's the Strikers.
Machuga delivers a strike, coming back from the open frame in the 2nd. Made the landing that time and delivers a strike.
I mean, that's a pretty good shot considering he's got a massive contusion on the inside of his ankle.
Keep it in longer.
Pretty good shot there from Mike Machuga. It's like getting the shanks in golf. You know, you don't want it to happen more than once.
Big backswing at Barrett. And a big result. Double.
Seems like every time he's thrown it in this competition, he's struck. Gee, I wonder why he won a major last year and why he dominated the World Series of bowling.
Why not? Yeah.
Big shot coming up from Amelito Monticelli here in the 8th frame. Down 44.
Must have it.
A couple of choice words in Spanish. And his team still has life.
.206 remaining on the scorecard for the Dallas Strikers. The Silver Lake Atom Splitters have the advantage and can increase it in the form of Wes Malott foundation frame. And the 10 pin goes late.
And again, another great shot by the Atom Splitters. And watch this pin action here.
Watka keeps the slight hope alive.
Well, up to Tommy Jones now, and all he needs to do is stay behind the foul line, and any kind of decent mark with count will do. Nine on the first ball will also seal the fate for the Dallas Strikers.
Silver Lake looking to advance to the semifinal against the winner of Pittsburgh and Philly. Jones 10 frame. Oh,
Are you kidding me?
10.
Are you kidding me? Guess what? Dallas Strikers have a chance to win. Rhino Page is going to get up in the 10th frame. He'll need 2 unless somehow Tommy Jones can convert the 2-8-10. Tommy just goes for the count because that 9 count there forces Rhino Page to get all 3 to win by 1. What an amazing turn of events. All 3 in the 10th. Anything else, the Silver Lake Atom Splitters will move on. Dallas Strikers will be eliminated.
Back in the 5th, Rhino said, "You got one more in you, sweetheart?" Well, how about 3 for the win? 10th frame. The messenger misses, and Silver Lake advances to the semifinal.
Nice shot, brother. Great shot.
That was a great shot by Rhino Page, and all the messengers went the way of the Atom Splitters. That messenger to the wrong address for the Dallas Strikers.
Great shot by Page, but not to be. And the Silver Lake Atom Splitters will live on in the PBA League, advancing to the semifinals.
Take another look at this shot by Rhino Page, and I think this is beautiful. Watch this ball just rev up, rip the pocket, messenger comes in front. 7 pin denies victory for Dallas.
Oh, man. That was a hell of a shot.
Interesting 10th frame. Jones with the 2-8-10, opening the door for Dallas, but Dallas could not walk through, so Silver Lake advances.
Is that what it was? We were trying to count them up.
Here's a look at the updated PBA League bracket. 3 of the 4 semifinal slots have been filled. Chris Paul's LAX and the defending Elias Cup champions Billie Jean King's New York City WTT Kingpins on one side of the bracket. On the other side, Chris Hardwick's Silver Lake Atom Splitters are in, with Pittsburgh and Philly remaining. Randy Peterson is laneside with the Dallas Strikers.
Thanks, Mike J. And with me, the franchise player for the Dallas Strikers, Norm Duke. Anchor bowler for the Dallas Strikers, Rhino Page. Norm, I'll start with you. You seemed to have a heck of a time getting the corner pins out. Why was that?
You know, when your ball's not running over them in the pins, you got to figure out a way to get the ball straight to drive those pins. And I was just flat and ringing and flat and ringing, and just it was a miserable time of the 10 pin a day, Randy. You've been there, I know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've been there a lot. Now, when Tommy Jones got up in the 10th frame and left the 2-8-10, gave your team life, what were you thinking?
I was thinking, you know what? I knew we had a chance, and now I got my bulldog up on the left lane last year. He threw an 18-bagger on that very pair right there. I knew I'd set that line up to where our guys would have a chance to get the last 4 or 5. And my boy went up there and just stuffed that thing. And he had the same problem in the 10th as I had the whole day.
Norm,
Much it.
Norm, thanks very much for your time. Rhino, great shot in the 10th frame. Recently coming off a wrist surgery. How is the wrist feeling?
It's about 60%. It's not there yet. I'm going to try to go back up to 15 pounds next week. But it's just a slow process, you know, building that stamina back and everything else. So it's getting there.
What does that do to your confidence when you're throwing 14 pounds, not sure how it's going to hit? What does that do to you mentally?
It just makes you work harder. You know, you can get those balls through the pins, but there's some times where you miss a little bit left and it looks like a 12-pounder when it hits the pins. So just managing it and making good shots. And, you know, I feel like I made quite a bit of them on the show.
Rhino, take us through the 10th frame. Tommy Jones leaves at 2-8-10. You get up in the 10th. What were you thinking?
Just thinking, make the move and let it go. And off my hand, I liked it. It didn't work out that way, and that's bowling sometimes. It's a round object hitting round objects.
Thanks, Rhino. Let's go over to Kimberly Pressler with the winners.
Thanks, Randy. We said these guys looked good on paper, but tonight they proved they are just that good. Mark, you had a winning team tonight. Was there anything that you would have changed? Because they started to slip a little bit there in that team match.
No, I like my team when we got put together. I like them after they bowled today.
Now you guys are heading into the semifinals. What do you think you're going to have to do to move forward in there?
I wouldn't change much. We bowled pretty good. We were in control of just about every match. We just got to keep filling the frames. I like my chances.
Awesome. Now, Tommy, you gave the other team just a glimmer of hope in the 10th frame. What was running through your mind when you got that split?
Well, I just wanted to do it for the fans. You know, the match, you know, we were kind of way ahead, and I went up there, and I thought I made a pretty good shot, and it was just one of those things.
All right, congratulations. The Atom Splitters move on to the semifinals.
So, who will the Atom Splitters face next? Find out in 3 weeks as Lamar Woodley's Pittsburgh Jackrabbits fight Kevin Hart's Philadelphia Hitmen for the last spot in the semifinals. That's Sunday, March 23rd, 1 Eastern, right here on ESPN. The best team on paper is the best team on the lanes today as the Silver Lake Atom Splitters eliminate the Dallas Strikers on the road to the Elias Cup Finals. For Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler, this is Mike Jakubowski. Thanks for watching the PBA League. See you back here in 3 weeks for Pittsburgh versus Philadelphia.